Mortal Kombat is finally here for the PC. The pre-release consensus was that it would stink to high heaven, but not so. Surprisingly, Acclaim took the time to do the job right, and the result is a brutal fighting game with good graphics that feels remarkably like the arcade and Sega Genesis versions. Mercifully, the Gravis Gamepad 4-button joystick support has been included. This had the potential to be another awful arcade conversion, but Acclaim has thankfully stood by its product. In short, Mortal Kombat for the PC is everything Street Fighter II for the PC was not. All 7 characters from the arcade have made their way to the PC. In Mortal Kombat, each fighter has his or her own special attacks along with the standard array of punches, kicks, jumps, and throws that all fighters can use. Consequentially, each fighter has a weakness against a particular kind of attack. Recognizing and exploiting the fighter's strengths and weaknesses is one of the keys to victory in Mortal Kombat. Of course, being quick with a joystick doesn't hurt either. The fighters appear as digitized actors set against a variety of backgrounds. Although you'll do better if you just concentrate on the fighting, the backgrounds are richly colored and beautifully detailed. All the pretty scenery in the world won't save a bad game, though. Fortunately, it doesn't have to. Fighters leap at each other with deadly speed and pound each other bloodily with vicious attacks. Mortal Kombat isn't for the meek, but if you think the violence is better than chess, this is the game for you. At the core of Mortal Kombat is a fast-paced martial arts battle to the death. All fighters have a common pool of moves they can use against each other, from a simple punch in the face to a sweeping crouch kick that knocks the opponent's legs out from underneath them. Some fighters have good luck with jumping across the screen for a quick kick in the head, while others are better at getting up close and personal. Here, beautiful but deadly Sonya shows Scorpion how to realign his back. Waking up to a foe and physically attacking them is only part of the fun. Each combatant has at least 2 special moves to assault opponents with, many of which can be implemented from long range. These special attacks are powerful and generally are not easy to block. Here, Liu Kang and Sub-Zero fight a long-range elemental battle with fire and ice. The pitfall to the special moves is that there is usually a brief period before or after the move is executed when the fighter is extremely vulnerable. There are no special requirements for entering into the Mortal Kombat tournament. You don't even have to be human. Enter Raiden, God of Thunder. It is rumored that Raiden assumed the form of a human to enter the tournament after a personal invitation from Shang Tsung, the evil wizard who holds sway over the contest. Although immortal, Raiden can be beaten, but those lightning bolts he keeps throwing at his opponents aren't going to make matters easier. The mysterious ninja Scorpion wants to have a little talk with Johnny Cage. Deadly, even at long range, Scorpion can snare opponents with a barbed harpoon and reel them in to explain things to them personally. The strength of this move is that the harpoon hurts Scorpion's opponent and then sets them up for a physical attack, and is especially effective followed by a powerful uppercut. In case you haven't figured it out yet, all the blood and gore the arcade game was notorious for has found its way to the PC. Ah yes, and what would Mortal Kombat be without mortality? After beating an opponent in 2 out of 3 fights, the player has the opportunity of dispatching the victim in a special way. It's called the finishing move, and each character has a different one. 2 things are required to execute a finishing move. First, you have to figure it out, as they are not included in the documentation. Secondly, you must be quick and precise with your controller of choice. Finishing moves are usually complicated, and there isn't much time to perform them before your opponent falls dead at your feet. They're not easy, but they're lots of fun.
We'll be right back.
For a little taste of life in hell, bring a big gun and visit id's Doom. Check out the demo in this episode of IE.
Do you have what it takes to storm the Castle Lintamar and retrieve the mighty axe Camelcod? You don't have to go alone. Take 3 companions to help in your quest. Fight off the mighty Taldors and practice a little medieval chemistry. It's up to you to lead your group of hardy adventurers in the search for Camelcod, the Axe of Power, and reunite the dwarves in Bloodstone from Minecraft. Not only is Bloodstone included free with this episode of IE, but we also give you helpful hints to fulfill your quest. Be sure to check out our Bloodstone tutorial under the Hints and Tips section from the table of contents.
And now, back to interactive entertainment.
Some finishing moves aren't as cute as Sonya's, if you can call blowing someone a kiss and burning them to a cinder cute. Take the way Kano kills, for instance. He has lots of heart. In fact, I think he collects them. As if being chopped to pieces by a flying blade and bashed by a human cannonball weren't enough, if you let Kano get down to the wire, he'll punch right through your chest and rip out your heart. Of course, he'll even show it to you while it's still beating. I mean, after all, not to show it to you would be rude. Pressing the low punch and low kick buttons increase your power on the meter. When you have pushed your power over the marker, the block button delivers your blow. You start off easy by smashing wood, but you'll progress to tougher substances like stone, steel, ruby, and diamond. As much fun as finishing moves are, there is a place where you might not want to use one. That place is the bridge. If you win a fight on the bridge, finishing your opponent off with an uppercut instead of your finishing move will cast the unfortunate soul down into this pit of spikes. Ah, Vlad the Impaler would be proud. You won't get any bonus points, but you'll get to see some extra grossness, which is the name of the game. It's the little optional touches like this that make Mortal Kombat for the PC such a good conversion. Diamond bashing, the reptile, spikes, it gives me a warm, fuzzy feeling. For those of you who think Mortal Kombat is just a flashy joystick jiggler, get a life. It also takes strategy to conquer this game. Maybe not the same level of tactical thought required to storm the stars in Master of Orion, but strategy just the same. First, you must know thyself, particularly what makes thyself kill and be killed. You must have the same knowledge of your opponent. Here, Raiden has made a potentially costly mistake. Shooting his lightning from across the screen gave Sonya the opportunity to duck it. He will now be vulnerable for a second while he recovers, which will give Sonya ample time to RSVP. A most effective mortal move is Sub-Zero's Deep Freeze. By shooting a bolt of ice from his palm, Sub-Zero can freeze an opponent solid. While this process doesn't hurt the freezee directly, it keeps them ziplocked long enough for Sub-Zero to waltz in and give him a good pummeling. The move isn't totally safe to execute, though. If the bolt misses or is blocked, Sub-Zero is caught at a delicate time while he replenishes his energy. Also, an overzealous player shooting at an opponent who is already frozen will find that the bolt reflects back at the caster. Definitely a no-no. The brutal mercenary Kano may be the slowest fighter in the match, but don't think he can't chop you into quivering pieces if you give him the chance. Although not the best at hand-to-hand fighting, Kano can toss a spinning blade through the air that is gruesomely effective, even if the opponent blocks the shot. He can also launch himself through the air like a cannonball and batter his opponents to the ground. Hey, who needs to be quick when you can kill from across the room? If you let Sub-Zero get the better of you, he'll take your head off. Spine included, of course. I said before that Mortal Kombat is a bloody, violent game, but I think it bears repeating. The Sega Genesis and Game Gear versions include a password that must be typed to show the blood and fatalities, while the Super Nintendo version was completely censored by that company's strict guidelines. Oh, sure, go ahead and kill somebody, but don't show the blood. On the PC, however, there's no way to turn the blood off, which is why the box carries a warning sticker giving the game a mock rating of PC-17. If seeing a body in more than one piece offends you, later. I was genuinely and pleasantly surprised at what a quality product the PC conversion of Mortal Kombat turned out to be, especially in the wake of the Street Fighter II apocalypse. All the little touches are here, along with the important things like good graphics and 4-button joystick support. Most importantly, the gameplay is as fast and breathtaking as the arcade and Sega Genesis versions. The digitized fighters may look a little pixelated in these stills, but you won't notice that in the heat of combat. Although the first version shipped doesn't support the Sound Blaster 16, that problem will soon be solved, and for free too. Kudos to Acclaim for taking the time to put out a first-rate game instead of copping out and trying to make a quick buck like some people I won't mention. If you liked Mortal Kombat in the arcade, you'll like it on the PC. It's that simple.